Snake Wood Nip Hustle. Big shout out to my nigga SPI, Spotter Low. You know I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned.
All truth, no lies, facts over feelings. We ain't gon' start something we can't finish. Google gang.
Better keep that shit to Google when you mention me. First sign of disrespect, I'm turning Hercules. It's gonna be a lot of shirts press, rest in peace. Keep it to Google, better keep it to Google. Keep that shit Google when you mention me. First sign of disrespect, I'm turning Hercules. It's gonna be a lot of shirts press, rest in peace. Keep it to Google, you better keep it to Google. Keep it to Google. You better keep it to Google. Better keep it to Google. Keep it to Google. Google gang.
Jeter. Gratitude is the attitude. The show is a blessing. To be here in the black box and blow us a session on my mama. Shout out to everybody in that chatterization. Sure appreciate y'all presence. Appreciate the way y'all come in, chop it up, greet each other. Give it up for the Google gang. My loved ones. It is a funky, flashy Friday affair. On my mama, we got a word of the day for those that care. I know when we in public, they stop and stare, but I got a whole lot of game to share. That's on the hair on my chin. How thin it has been. On my mama, I swear to God, it's more hair on here than it look like, cuz. It ain't as like booty face as it look. I just trimmed it down, cuz. I ain't expected to look when I took a picture and got on the camera like you can't see no hair over there. On my mama, that was not intentional. And, I mean, it was intentional to go this low, but I didn't know it was going to look like that on Crip. I ain't trying to go like booty face on my mama. Word of the day, vestige. Vestige is a trace, mark, or visible sign left by something lost or vanished. The seconds tick by, but the team still had a vestige of hope. The ruins remain as vestiges of the Roman occupation of Britain. Vestige. It's odd to me that Webster chose to use verbiage that spoke to the Romans and not the originals. You know, we got a whole lot of scenarios about our history that would have fit that scenario. But that leads me to my next thought. Somebody sent me a clip, cuz, of Adam 22 having a podcast. Interestingly enough, the homie AD wasn't there. I don't know if that was done by design, if that was, just an accident. I should have had this loaded up and more prepared on my mama. I'm trying to find it though. But anyway, to give you some background, even if I can't find it. Okay, here we go. Adam 22 got these two white boys on this podcast, right? And it reminded me of the conversation we had about Asian Crips and them using the N-word and being comfortable in our environment. A lot of people have a lot of opinions. I see Royster 5'9" that spoke out about it. I respect his opinion because I know it's coming from a position of integrity, good intention, and the most obvious way to feel is disrespected. I understand why and how the average melanated individual would initially feel disrespected by what's about to take place, because what we have here is apparently, if they're not gangbangers, they apparently, to me, it appears they grew up amongst us. There's two white boys, and they are comfortable with using the N-word with the hard A, not the ER, right? I'm gonna let y'all hear a little bit how they talk.
We grew up far away, you know. Like grew up anywhere. That was my first like hell, no, yeah. Like they like yeah. Or someone fresh out the pen or something, they like, oh, gee, he like, I don't appreciate saying that, and then someone else be like, or we ourselves. Fresh out of the pen,
you just have to fight just over your right to say it.
I'm like, it's natural. He trying to see what we do because we don't really like talking too much. Yeah, if you got a problem with us, we handle it. I'm not gonna lay down and nigga give a like, come on, like the fuck, I need my respect. And it's like you need. If you want to be cool after it, nigga, it's cool. But we don't like to talk a lot. If you got a problem with us, we gonna handle it right then and there.
Is there anybody you won't say it in front of? Like if you were around somebody's grandma?
It's not even we trying to say it. We don't try and say this shit.
Right.
This is not act. We don't try this shit. It's in my vocabulary. This shit don't. I'm trying to say nigga 20 times. No. I don't try this shit. I don't even know I say this shit.
Right.
It's real out.
Y'all get the idea.
So
On my mama, right? Extremely controversial content in any context you choose to consider it. And like I say, I'm totally aware of why anyone would have the immediate response of that's bullshit, shouldn't be happening no matter what, right? I understand that. I get it. However, there's a whole nother perspective that I also can relate to. There's multiple perspectives I can relate to. For one, there is and has been for a long time an element of individuals who are not black that grew up in the ghetto. If they didn't grow up in the ghetto, they had access to the ghetto to the point where they're considered part of the immediate environment, and especially if they're gangbangers. I'm not quite sure if them dudes is gangbanging, but for one, I think a lot of times with the N-word, intention is supreme overall. I think the word has evolved to a point where it's beyond anyone trying to tell, especially when we talk about the hard A, when you're trying to eliminate that out of the speech of all non-melanated people. I remember a moment of Kendrick Lamar being on stage and having a young Caucasian female fan excited, eager to be on the stage with him, singing his songs alongside of him. And at the moment came where N-word was a part of the lyric, she went on to say it alongside of him. And he took that moment to check her, stop her, and correct her. And for that, that's a perplexing, confusing element to me, because I feel like, or I think, because it's always facts over feelings, the fact of the matter is, especially someone such as Kendrick, who has a major, big deal, you are preparing these records and turning them in to non-black executives. With this being said, with the mind frame, especially a mainstream artist such as himself, you're targeting a particular demographic. And for superstars, for you guys that don't know, to sustain a superstar's career, you have to cross over and appeal to the demographic of white females between their teen age and their mid-30s. That's my grandbaby. I hear you, baby, but that's the demographic that creates and sustains the careers of superstars when it comes to crossing over. So being on the level that they are, the deals that they have in place, you are totally aware of who you are preparing this music for. So to prepare for them, want them to love it, and then flip it and try to stop them from using the word in the same exact sense you used it, I feel like is a confusing message. Another perspective, the way I look at it, is this. In a lot of senses, the N-word, in the way that we're offended by it, is equivalent to being whipped, to being segregated against, and things of that nature. So I see the concept of, hey, if you calling me this word and whipping me in the same spirit, and the same way whipping and the N-word was intended to bring about the same effect, demoralization of the individual you were targeting towards, the individuals, offsprings, that typically from the culture of pointing that weapon, whether it's the N-word or if it's a whipping or anything of that nature, any of the person of that culture chooses to then take on the culture that we have suffered and then made fly. Y'all have to under understand, where is it gonna stop? If we sag and then sagging ends up in the store. We make the N-word fly, even though it was intended to destroy us, there is nothing sacred about it. The intention behind it is always the issue. If I see a white boy out in public and from appearance, you can tell he rock with our energy, and you can tell within his normal vernacular, the N-word come out with the hard A and a positive energy, bro. Yo, if you're gonna start your freedom fight right there, you're really directing your energy into a very fruitless, it's not gonna stop. The one thing that caught me about what the two white boys were saying about how Adam questioned them, he was like, you have to fight for your right to say the word, like no matter who said it, G homie or whoever tell you they don't want to hear that. Well, I'm gonna tell you this: in the penitentiary and sometimes outside the penitentiary, it's older blacks who don't want to hear that word from young niggas who use it every day. And generally, of course, there's exceptions to every rule, and I'm not gonna say this is always the case, but generally, when you got an older cat in your environment, especially when you're incarcerated, and that's an everyday word, and when you come across him, if he say, hey, young brother, I prefer you don't call me that. Or, a lot of times they replace that for ninja, and that's what they use. And usually that's respected. I think these two individuals are dealing with another dynamic of course, to be one of them and be a member of a gang takes more of a challenge than anything, especially once they get incarcerated, because the woods is going to be on their head. But I just found that interesting that that's a debate that's on the table. I'm pretty sure that's a debate that's going to be on the table for far longer than this moment. But this is one thing we have to focus on. If we feel like the N-word, no matter what, hard A, the way we say it, if it's repeated by them, if it's still such a negative thing, the best thing you can do as an individual, if anytime you're afflicted with something that is destructive and you begin to do whatever you can to survive, and because, we are who we are, we can make something out of nothing. We'll take that ER and flip it into that hard A, and then market it and brand it and make it to a point where their offspring desire to be a part of it. If you still feel like it's too negative for them to repeat after we feed it to them through our music and every other avenue we have, the wisest thing for us to do is let them have it and we leave it alone. I don't think it would be wise to stand firm in your position as being one, meaning the N-word, and then being offended by, because the N-word, remember, those are like lashes over your back. Now you got them wanting to take the lashes with you. The flyest thing you can do is get out of line and don't take no more lashes and let them have it. And whatever levels of being distinguished you think establishes not classifying ourselves as that, let's move to that. Because other than that, I think it's going to be a lot of confusion for a long time on this subject. We got to let that hard A, acceptable form of the word be totally separate from the intentions of the individuals that use that ER. And even you see on some of these clips with Karens, that hard A can be, have the ill intentions. But it's just like this. A female could walk in to a space and say, see her companion, her friend, and say, oh, fat bitch, get your ass up, let's go out. And she be like, girl, let's go. And it be all good. That same female that was called the fat B can be on the phone on a three-way unbeknownst to that other female. And whoever is talking to the female can say, hey, yeah, we gonna go whoopty-whoop. I'm gonna let so-and-so know. That same female can say, don't tell that fat bitch. And those same exact words will have totally different meanings, receive totally different reactions, responses. And I think in that sense, a lot of times we have to be a lot more practical about how acceptable And we've made the word how influential we are in general based upon our everyday habits and what we consider our culture, and then find a more intelligent, practical approach to people adapting or adopting what we're doing when their intentions are not to belittle. It just is what it is. I mean, who can, if they threw us chitlins because it wasn't no good, and we threw hot sauce on them and kept saying, and now the soul food restaurants at lunchtime are full of Caucasians ordering chitlins, are you gonna get upset because chitlins are no good, really? Or are you gonna monetize, get your money, and eat vegan? Otherwise, it's gonna be a lot of confusion. It's Friday, not Tuesday, but sometimes Tuesday feel like Friday. It's BS and BS. I'm Baby Spotted, Blue Smurf on the second verse. That's my low. That's my artist. It's Bacon activity all the time in the black box. In the black box. Let me wet my whistle. Somebody told me I'm too classy for the plastic cup. I should get a glass. But the reason I don't use the glass, just so y'all know, is not because of lack of a class, but I prefer not to expose the contents of my cup. And then True Blue, gotta keep it blue in the black box. On my mama. Oh yeah, Confused on all digital platforms right now. And just know this, Lost Tapes Volume 2, available on all digital platforms. Tap in, tap out. VJ Keyway say so. On my mama.
I'm thinking it's a Friday, but it's really only Tuesday. Sipping tequila, kicking my feet up, turning my feet up. Oh yeah. I'm thinking it's a Friday, but it's really only Tuesday. Sipping tequila, kicking my feet up, turning my feet up. Oh yeah. Banging me some OJs, thinking about the old days. Kicking my feet up just like a ball.
Marathon OG and the Russian cream. Whole team counting thousands, it was just a dream. Big blunts to the neck, get me high quick. In the trap, watching shotters on the 5-stick. 4K, 60-something on the inside. Pastrami and chili on the French fries. Piecing up for the homies on the inside. Evil East side, in hood, could've been died. Liberated, cause the paid lawyer litigated. Mitigated, keep the cognac refrigerated. Getting faded in a 5-star, niggas hate it. Last time I demonstrated it was nickel plated. He ain't had no win against the 4 fin. Just went on one, and I'm down to go again. But then, I'd rather sip tequila. Kick my feet up, turn the beat up, never put my heat up on E.
I'm thinking it's a Friday, but it's really only Tuesday. Sipping tequila, kicking my feet up, turning my feet up. Oh yeah. I'm thinking it's a Friday, but it's really only Tuesday. Sipping tequila, kicking my feet up, turning my feet up. Oh yeah. Banging me some OJs, thinking about the old days. Kicking my feet up just like a boss do. Yeah. I'm thinking it's Friday, but it's really only Tuesday. Sipping tequila, kicking my feet up.
Big hands on a baseball cap, I'm from the Mac. Styrofoam cup full of Remy Martin, all cognac, no chase. I used to duct tape the 38. Riders hanging out where it ain't safe on a Tuesday. Patron bottles, Magnum hollers, we get it in. Active like every day, not only on the weekend. Baby say she can't swim, just put your feet in. Take a shot of this tequila and stay away from the deep end. But death though, I'm too deep in. Mafia, on that BS, Blue Smurf and Baby Spotted. Gold rag around my neck or in my pocket, can't give it up. Blam on me in the function, wish I would put it up. Got me turned up, thinking about the old days. Homie and op, remember all my head up fast. But then, I'd rather chill and kick my feet up. Mafias and ECs, the real riders link up.
I'm thinking it's a Friday, but it's really only Tuesday. Sipping tequila, kicking my feet
Yeah, Confused is the title of that record. That's my boy Trey Legend on the hook. My boy Blue Smurf on the second verse. That's SPI on the first. Blue Cup to quench the third.
Snakewood and that Hustle. Big shout out to my nigga SPI, Spotter Low. You know I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned.
Black Box Productions.